What's up, guys? It's Jeremy here for the Hockey Podcast Network. If you're new to the network, I co-host the WCB podcast, the official Chicago Blackhawks podcast of the Hockey Podcast Network. And today, I am here to give my opinions and predictions on how I see the Central Division is going to play out in the 21-22 season. A lot has changed. A lot has stayed the same. And you know what? I think the most exciting part about it is we have 82 games of hockey. So you know what? Let's get right into it. Let's kick things off with the new guys in the division, the Arizona Coyotes. If you're a Coyotes fan, this has been an offseason you want to forget. Not only has your team lost its home arena by the end of the year, your ownership has set this ridiculous salary cap limit, which caused your team to go ahead and move a bunch of fan favorites, not go out and really sign any big names. Your top guy, or one of your top guys, Phil Kessel, he wants out now. It's not going to be a fun season for Coyotes fans. I feel for this team. I wish this team was good, especially now that you got the Kachina back. That's probably the one positive you have looking out of this upcoming season. Now, I think you guys are going to be set up for a great 3 to 5 years from now with all the assets you guys brought in from all the trades. But this season, I'm going to have to put you guys down to the cellar, 8th place. Next up is my Chicago Blackhawks. This has been one of the strangest offseasons with a lot of highs and some extremely big lows. While I can talk about this team for hours, which we will, so make sure you subscribe to the WCB podcast on all podcast streaming sites. Bowman, as much as I'm not a Bowman guy, he killed it this offseason with some of the acquisitions he made. Picking up Fleury, Seth Jones, Tyler Johnson, Jake McCabe, who is going to be, I think, a very sneaky pickup, underrated pickup that he did this year. And I'm going to toss him in on the key addition, Jonathan Taves. Him coming back after missing the entire last season due to his illness that he was facing. It's going to make a big difference coming back into this team. Not only that, you have Alex DeBrincat, who is primed to take the next level to elite status. Kaner's always going to be Kane. And big question is really, are the rookies from last season going to be able to continue what they did last year? A lot of those guys had seasons that we weren't expecting here in Chicago, given what the team looked like going into last year. I think this team can flirt with the top 3 finish in the division, but I'm feeling confident that they will finish at least 4th and hopefully will be enough to take one of those wild card spots. Next up is the Colorado Avalanche. When making my division predictions, I had 2 teams set in stone of where they were going to finish. Arizona at 8 was my first. Colorado at number 1 was my second. The division is theirs to lose. The Western Conference is going to go through Colorado, and this is a scary team. They lost Grubauer, which is going to hurt, but much like the Chicago Blackhawk Dynasty era teams, this team is built so well, you can throw a damn shooter-tooter in the net, and it's not going to matter. They are still going to dominate you, and they are still going to put up a lot of points. I think the only thing that can derail the Colorado Avalanche this season is injuries. If one of their top-line guys gets hurt, that might be a problem. But at the end of the day, they are a great overall team, and they have to be Stanley Cup favorites. Let's go down to the great state of Texas and the Dallas Stars. This is a very interesting team. If healthy, they are a scary team to play against. They are coming off of a season where they got really the short end of the stick, missing the first 2 weeks of the season due to COVID protocol. A lot of their key guys, Sagan, Ben, Radulov, were all hurt. Bishop was out a lot. If this team can stay healthy and, get back to where they were the year they made the appearance to the Stanley Cup final, I think they're a scary team. They add some insurance in net, bringing in Holtby after he was bought from Vancouver. So you have a little bit of a goalie controversy down in Dallas, but given what they have dealt with in the last year, it's not bad to have 3 to 4 goalies that can take the job. Now, this division's so hard to kind of predict where they're going to fall between 2 and 7. So I'm going to go with, if they are healthy and they can get back to the chemistry that they had when they went to the Stanley Cup final against Tampa, this team this team will come in second in the division, and I don't know if they go deep, but they will make it hard for whoever they face that first round matchup. Let's head up to Minnesota to talk about the Minnesota Wild. This is a very interesting case for a team whose championship window is closing fast before I think it even was open. Buying out Suter and Parise this offseason is really going to handicap what this team can do in the next 2 to 3 years when they have salary cap hit of $12 and $14+ million to players that aren't even on the roster. That's going to really limit what they can bring in. So this team is going to have to be in a win now mode for this year. And I just can't see it happening. They're a decent team. It's awesome that they were able to rot down Kaprizov for what they did, but that's a high gamble contract on a guy that played in a very weak division for a shortened schedule last year. He was able to tear it up when he was playing the same teams over and over. Now, is he going to be able to transition that to a full 82-game schedule when he's playing some of the best? They have $9 million bet that he does, and hopefully he does. If not, they are in big trouble. Now, this is a team that is a solid team. They always find themselves in playoff contention. However, I just think that other teams in this division did a lot more to get better. I really went back and forth on where I want to put these guys, so I have them coming in at 6th place in the Central Division this year, unless they're able to make some big moves, get a lot of rental players, but I just don't see it happening. Okay, let's go down to Nashville to talk some Predators hockey. This is a team that is clearly in rebuild mode. They lost a lot of key pieces this offseason, the first big one being Pekka Rinne, the all-time franchise goalie who decided to retire, hang it up at the beginning of this offseason. Then they go and they lose Yarncroc to the Seattle Kraken in the expansion draft. They lose Victor Arvidsson in a trade with LA. This is another team that had recent Stanley Cup final appearance, and it has been a hard fall from grace for this team. I still think that they have a competitive team in mind. I think that they are going to make a lot of teams fight for the 2 points each night. I just don't think that this is a team that you're going to really see at the end of the day fighting for a playoff position. I do, however, think that they are going to do a lot better than the Arizona Coyotes, and that's why I have them placed at 7th in the division. Let's go down to the Hawks' biggest rival at the moment, the St. Louis Blues. As much as I would love to say that this team is garbage and they are trash and they're going to finish 7th or 8th, I can't say that. They are a fairly good team. They have some strong guys. They were able to keep a lot of their team from the Stanley Cup year together. Questionable about, the contract they gave Binnington. I think he is one of the most overrated goalies in the league, and I think that you guys are going to really regret giving him the contract that you guys did. Another situation that is going to be really interesting to see how it plays out is what happens with Tarasenko. He is asked to be dealt from the team because he doesn't trust the medical staff out there. But, however, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of teams lining up to take on that salary cap. Is he going to play? Is he going to hold out until he gets dealt? It's a situation that you hate seeing, and it's sad that there's 2 of these cases going on in the league right now. But, St. Louis, I have you guys probably in 5th place in this division. No matter how good the division gets, it's weird, just like the St. Louis Cardinals. You guys are always fighting for playoff position, and you guys always find a way to sneak in there. And I just think that you can't bet against the Blues, whether it's going to be a wild card spot or not. I think that's up for grabs. All right, last but not least in this division preview, the Winnipeg Jets. There is a lot of good on this team. I think that they are a team that kind of gets forgotten a lot because being the only Canadian team in the division. Let's face it, not the most popular team when it comes to Canadians. I think that they are a very, very dangerous group of players. They did a great job this offseason addressing their weakness, which was the back end, adding guys like Dillon and Schmidt. I think that when you have a Vezina caliber goalie in Hellebuck, it's gonna be a tough team to beat. And if they get hot at the right time and they can make a deep run in the playoffs, I think that they could potentially be in the conversations of Stanley Cup contenders. Now, they do have to go through Colorado. They do have to get past that hump. They seem to always find something that derails them, including last year losing Scheifele in the playoffs. But overall, this is a team whose window to win is open, and they just need to go ahead and burst through it and really go for it. So I'm putting them at third place in the Central Division this upcoming season. All right, so quick recap of where I put all the teams in the Central Division. I have got Colorado at 1, Dallas at 2, Winnipeg at 3, Chicago at 4, St. Louis at 5, Minnesota at 6, Nashville at 7, and Arizona Coyotes at 8. At least you guys got the Kachina jerseys back. Now, I would love to hear how wrong you guys think I am and where I completely don't know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm a Chicago guy. I know what Chicago Blackhawks are going to do, despite what a lot of people are saying about their offseason moves. But in the comments below, let us know what your Central Division prediction is going to be. Make sure to subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network on YouTube. You have got a load of awesome content coming for you this season. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to get going with it. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe to the WCB podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get to your podcast needs. And toss us a follow on social media at WCB Podcast at Instagram and Twitter. This has been Jerem for the Central Division Preview.